Hello and welcome to the Opinions and Beer Podcast. I'm your host, Adam. Today we have a big episode. Today is the interview with Michael Jai White. And because it's such a long interview, we are going to save the beer review for the end. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is Michael Jai White.
I don't even know how it works this time.
Man, so Michael, we've been sitting here sweating because
I know, man. It's like, it's just really big being able to sit here and have a conversation with you. I mean, I know you probably hear that a lot, but it is what it is.
now.
No problem.
Okay, so our podcast is Opinions and Beer. We usually drink a bit of beer and then try and interview some people, and we've been graced with Michael Jai White's presence. It's really an insane honor to have just Skyping with us right now. It really is. One of the things that we like to do is get our guests to kind of like go over their past a little bit. I know that most everybody probably already knows a good portion about you, but if you could kind of in your own words describe what got you to where you are right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, big question up front. That way, let's break the ice. That way we kind of understand more about you and the way that you feel towards these situations. I think it's more, personable or whatnot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just stayed persistent. I was a school teacher before I was an actor. The acting thing was something that I had to get out of my system because I would go out for acting roles when I wasn't teaching. And then I decided to give myself a shot and see if I could actually make a living at it, instead of being one of those people who always wish they had and never tried. So,
yeah.
I got I went out, started getting work, did a lot of theater in New York, and then eventually moved out to L.A. I was a lifelong martial artist, and I really applied a lot of my martial arts ethic to this business, where staying persistent and consistent, and then overcoming every obstacle,
Yeah.
That's actually, that's kind of how we kind of wanted to start off this podcast, just trying to be persistent and what's that beeping? But
connection was lost.
Oh, we're still here if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. And it's just a big thing. We've always wanted to, talk with people. Well, we didn't even start off wanting to do interviews, but it's just the next progressive step with podcasting. And so we're starting off with a lot of people that really influenced us or had some sort of impression at all whatsoever while we were growing up. And so far, the response has been really positive.
Yeah, for sure.
We're steadily growing podcast. Right now, we have a nomination in Uganda for the
the BEE Awards
the
for
BEE
the
Awards.
Best International Media Act.
I mean, we are
cool.
we are losing right now to DJ Nimrod and some lady, but I think it's cool enough to get a get a nomination.
Well, it's hard to beat Nimrod, man. Nimrod is like, he's dope.
We won't get into the credentials of Nimrod, okay? But we're not that type of podcast.
So I guess we got a few. I have an icebreaker here just to get things started before we get into the more questions upon questions that we have here. Right now, here's the clickbait of the day. The new trailer for Aladdin came out.
Oh wow, yeah.
And there's a big backlash, or not backlash, but there's like a divide right now between what people thought of the genie. Did you have you seen the trailer? Did you like the genie, Will Smith?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see?
Oh, you haven't seen it? Well,
No,
it's kind of one of those things. I mean, I personally thought that it looks okay. It's just strange having like grown up with like I guess some of those Disney cartoons and then like progressing from there to see it in live action. So you have like this image, that you're kind of going with, and then to see it brought to fruition is just kind of one of those strange things. And I think because Robin Williams has played, he played such a strong role and was such a big character with the genie. That's why people are making such a big deal about Will Smith with it. But, I mean, I honestly think that it's fine. I think it's great. It really is kind of like Adam just said, is just one of those clickbait things,
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Last I know is, I took my daughters to Aladdin on Broadway, and that was amazing. The guy who played the genie in that was outstanding. So that's all I know about Aladdin.
Well, yeah. Actually, I was looking at some of this. Like, I was watching a bit of the Aladdin Broadway stuff, and it looked really good.
Well, let's here's a good thing to bring up, because you said you went and watched Broadway earlier. You were saying in your past you did some type of theater and whatnot before you got really big into like getting full-time acting jobs. What you were in the past?
Oh, I mean, I did a lot of plays. One of the bigger ones was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh wow!
But I did a number of plays in New York, and I haven't since I've done some traveling plays as well, but yeah, I'd be hard pressed to remember a lot of the names right now.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. It's just something I thought might be a unique thing to bring out.
You're obviously you're a well-known martial artist. You really grew up with martial arts, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but who were some of your who were some of your biggest influences in for martial arts?
Well, number one, that would have to be Nimrod. I mean, Nimrod's... No, I'm kidding. But,
DJ Nimrod's got it on lock, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that dreaded Nimrod.
We'll get you. We're going to send Michael Jai White after you, Nimrod. You're not going to know what's coming.
Yeah, my biggest influences, of course, I think everybody's number one is Bruce Lee. There was Bruce Lee, there's Masoyama. Personally, it's Bill Wallace and a guy named Joe Louis. Not the boxer Joe Louis, but there was a heavyweight karate champion named Joe Louis who became one of my teachers as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, then there's Shigeru Oyama, who's another one of my teachers who passed away about 2 years ago. But I was lucky to have some really powerful influences in martial arts. I did mention Bill Wallace, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I meant. Yeah. That's he's one of my biggest influences.
Biggest, okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you said that martial arts has been a huge part of your past. I think we're all aware of that. So you have 7 black belts. Is that correct? 8 black belts. Oh God, he got another one. Oh, what are they in?
Oh boy. Well, there's a Shotokan, Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, Goju, Kyokushin, Shokaru. Did I say Kobudo? I did Wushu.
What would you say your favorite style of martial arts is?
My favorite style is Goju.
Okay.
No. My favorite style is Kyokushin.
Now, how does that differ from maybe the other
forms
style,
of karate?
other forms of
Kyokushin is a form of karate, from what I've. Yeah.
They got close to it. Kyokushin. It's a form of karate. It's probably the most stringent, the hardest style of karate. I kind of compare it to kind of like the Navy SEALs of traditional martial arts.
Okay.
It's very, and like the Navy SEALs, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's really strenuous.
And what it is like if you keep pushing yourself beyond normal boundaries, it's your mind and your spirit that becomes stronger. And so the toughest, discipline kind of gives you the best discipline. So that's why it's my favorite. It's not the most beautiful, but it's like, there's that macho thing, but it's not all about that. It's really what it pulls out of you. So that's why it's my favorite.
That's really cool. I know that most martial arts comes to pretty much mental discipline is where a lot of it is, and that's the same with Navy SEALs as well.
Yeah. If you're a Navy SEAL, the SEAL training creates a specific type of person, and Kyokushin does that same thing. I mean, sometimes I could recognize a Kyokushin person like in a crowded room very, very easily.
Do you want to elaborate on that a bit? I mean, like, is there like a calling card or?
Well, like you might recognize a Navy SEAL. There's a certain way they carry themselves.
Okay.
There's a certain aura and confidence, and they've got broken knuckles and like a few busted teeth. That helps a lot too.
Yeah.
but
the ugliest guy in the room.
But there is, like I say, very much like because martial arts is really kind of like a paramilitary kind of group, and you would probably pick out the Navy SEAL as a very different person from a security guard, or a regular cop. There's a difference, and that kind of difference is what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Is there any martial arts that maybe you'd like to become more proficient in?
Well, yeah, jiu-jitsu. I actually started with jiu-jitsu, and it's become really popular.
Yeah, it's huge.
I've done, I continue to do jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it for years, but never really thought about, the ranking of it so much. I just enjoy it. But it's like I have to have time. Sometimes, I do it in blocks of time, but I like to do it a little bit more because it keeps progressing. It's one of the only arts that I see that keeps evolving. So that's kind of fascinating for me.
And obviously, it's really popular right now, especially in the MMA world.
The MMA, it's huge. You can't toss a stone without somebody that hasn't learned some form of jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
People have it tattooed on their back now. I mean, that's usually with a bunch of tribal stuff too. But
Yeah, I recommend jiu-jitsu for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, one great aspect is if you go to the right jiu-jitsu place, I mean, it's fairly safe, and there's a strategic element with it that's very fascinating. It's kind of like playing chess, but a physical game of chess.
Yeah.
And it's very, very, very good for you too, health-wise.
And a lot of fighters they equate fighting exactly like that, just like an eloquent dance of chess almost, where you're essentially going back and forth. It's a really cool way of describing it.
What style would you recommend to someone maybe that I guess what's the easiest style to pick up and learn?
The easiest? Okay.
Well, the easiest would be judo and aikido. That'd probably be the easiest. Taekwondo would start coming up, in there. But yeah, those are the more easy styles.
Okay.
For people to just pick up.
Just to pick up, because a lot of people they're always looking to defend themselves. I guess they're always trying to find something.
If you're looking to defend yourself, I wouldn't say those.
Oh, okay.
But when you just say of a style that's easier to pick up, those aren't necessarily the best to use for self-defense. There's there's an entire brands of kung fu that are amazing self-expressions. They're beautiful, but they're hardly what you would do. You would use in a self-defense situation. You would never. I mean, you just get yourself killed doing that.
What would you use those for?
You look beautiful getting killed, but you'll get killed.
Yeah. And that's actually like kind of what Bruce Lee said about a lot of those old kind of classic kung fu things is like, yeah, these are nice and they work here and there, but you've got to be able to equate them to real life situations at the same time. I think the most famous quote of him saying, you got to be water.
What's that?
I said one of his most famous quotes about you having to be water in a bowl, essentially.
Yeah, well, Bruce Lee liked fusing things in a realistic situation. Like, that's why he did a lot. He was really fascinated with boxing. And Muhammad Ali, for one. He really idolized Muhammad Ali. That's why he brought in the dancing and the being on your toes and jab. That never really existed in martial arts. So Bruce Lee made it popular.
Well, what was the martial arts that Bruce Lee kind of invented? What was that?
Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do.
Are you proficient at all in Jeet Kune Do?
No.
No,
but I understand the concepts of it, but it's there's a bit of a flaw there. It's kind of messed up to point out, but there's a big flaw in the fact that Bruce Lee created a martial art that's kind of like the equivalent of Mike Tyson creating a boxing art that involved like hitting people harder than anyone else can.
Okay, I get what you're saying. There's something that's almost like
Bruce
unrealistic
Lee,
in the form of like someone else being able to actually use it. He's like, watch me do this flying sidekick. Okay, all you have to do is this like 40 times and you're good.
Well, no, the flaw is that Bruce Lee was faster than most people, and he could develop something called the way of the intercepting fist.
Yeah.
Well, if you kind of compare it to itself, if Bruce Lee had to fight Bruce Lee, how the hell is he going to intercept his own fist? Because he's too fast. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like it works for Bruce Lee fighting regular people because he's twice as fast. You know what I mean? So
but it wouldn't work for like a Brock Lesnar.
Okay, when the guy, it's like when the guy is about to hit you, block his punch and hit him. Bruce Lee can say, well, hit the guy before he hits you.
So do you think that was kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a fame thing or whatever? Like maybe he was trying to sell something? I think it was there's don't get me wrong, there's only a few little like things like that I'm pointing out that are flaws, but no, the majority of it's backed by actual physics and kinesiology and everything. Yeah.
But I just laugh because there's certain elements that that he could do. That's why you really haven't seen anybody in all these years who's a Jeet Kune Do stylist look anything like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's you got to kind of chuckle at that a little bit. It's like, yeah, he's taught a lot of students that look nothing like him. So it's kind of funny. That's what I'm saying. It's like Mike Tyson teaching people.
Yeah.
And no matter what, he's there because he's a very unique person. So Mike Tyson could teach somebody, but they're not going to be as effective as Mike Tyson.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you started off. I want to say you started really young. When did you start off with martial arts?
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
And
between 7 and 8. Yeah.
And you were doing that for you're still doing that from 7 years old to now.
Yeah.
You've been just doing martial arts.
Which,
and
if
stuff
anybody
like that.
looks at you, they wouldn't think that was that long.
And you said you were a school teacher, so you're beating up kids all day.
Oh, Lord. Seagal flipping them in the yard.
So how was that? How did that transition into acting start to form and take place?
Well, I mean, it didn't transition into acting, honestly. it's just like if I played the piano and then I went to go do acting. Eventually, there might be a role where I could play piano and act. Well, in fact, I did play the piano. I did classical piano. But
good plug there. Okay.
You know, because it's a weird thing because there have been a few people who transitioned from martial arts to doing movies. Very few. There seems to be some kind of inference that one gets you into the other. No, there's only a handful of people who've really done that. Bruce Lee being one of them, but really, see, I was an actor. I've done I've made a living as an actor, independent of martial arts, and I've made a living as a martial artist, independent of acting, and I still do that. I have 6 movies coming out, and 4 of them have nothing to do with martial arts. I have comedies, dramas. I have a movie coming out with Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn. Has nothing to do with any kind of martial arts or anything. But when I do movies as a martial artist, it tends to make people kind of brand me, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I've done far more movies that have nothing to do with martial arts than I have done martial movies.
Yeah, I noticed that whenever you were starting out, you did exactly what you're saying. You've got a lot of dramas under your belt as well. I mean, to sit there and try and typecast you is definitely a wrong decision there because your range is way higher than that.
It's what people do. I don't fault them. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Look at Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes did movies like White Men Can't Jump. Waiting to Exit. He's done a whole stretch of movies. Was it Wildcats with Goldie Hawn? Just so many comedies and different type of things. As soon as he started doing anything involving martial arts, he got kind of typecasted as the action guy.
Yeah.
And so I realized the tendency to do that. This is why I didn't do martial art movies when I first started. Because if Wesley Snipes started first doing martial art movies, I don't think he would have ever gotten a chance to do some of the other things because they would have just kind of pigeonholed him. He had the acting ability to pull himself out of that, but it's so polarizing with the whole martial arts. It just starts to define you early on,
Yeah.
Because, really when you think of martial arts, guys like, Van Damme or Steven Seagal or Chuck Norris, and you don't even think of those guys of playing other roles, like being in dramas and comedies. It doesn't even occur to you. So, it's kind of what people just naturally do. You mean something. You mean specific things to different people. And so I get it. But, I do a lot of other type of films and, television shows. I've actually done more comedy than anything.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Yeah, really, really good.
And you honestly, it almost seems like you're almost a little more comfortable sometimes with the comedy films and stuff like that. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, it's close to who I am. I actually write comedies. I've done 158 episodes of a sitcom.
Yeah.
So just that by itself, I'm the lead in a sitcom for that length of time. So just in comparison, I've done more comedy than anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then film-wise, I've done a lot of Why Did I Get Married? Black Dynamite, which I wrote as well. And I've got more of those coming out. And so that's kind of how it goes. Yeah, I continue to confuse people because people are used to putting you on a particular shelf. But that's okay. I don't get angry at it. But I just have to continue to define who I really am.
So you got your
That's really good.
you got your I want to say what really kind of blew you up I mean, you were doing early films, like you were doing Universal Soldier. You were doing On Deadly Ground, Ballistic. But I think really what people started noticing you a lot more when you did Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson really was the I'd say the biggest turning point almost, and for good reason.
Now, could you tell us a little bit about how you got that role and?
Well, Tyson was the beginning point. It's not even a turning point. It's not like I was even known before Tyson. So Tyson was, of course, that was an acting role. It had nothing to do with martial arts, even though I knew how to use my hands. But that wasn't really primary. It was really about portraying this character that everybody on the planet knew. So it was a proving ground for me. But I auditioned, not thinking I was right for the role. And as I kept getting callbacks, I started realizing I was a little better for the role than I thought.
Have you ever talked with Mike Tyson about your portrayal of him?
Oh, because he was in jail, wasn't he, at the time whenever it was filmed? So I'd love to get his take on it.
Yeah, he was in jail when it happened. But we had a lot of friends in common, and I was able to talk to him over the phone a few times, and we've run into each other several times. We've only probably had one conversation about the movie, and that might have been 2 minutes long.
Really?
So, yeah. So I really never really think about it.
So it's not. Is it ever surreal that I portrayed you?
Like,
you see.
Sometimes I'm you.
Yeah, you see Mike Tyson. You're like, hey man, I was you before. Yeah. I was you in a movie.
That's crazy to do a biography about somebody, or that's still alive. That's a very unique experience that you have under your belt, and then to be able to say that you talked to him and whatnot, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's weird. I guess it's weird of me, but. When I do a film or something, I just put it in the rearview mirror. I don't really think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I could be like run into Tyson or whatever, and it doesn't even occur to me. It doesn't even enter my mind that I played him. It's so ancient history. But there's a lot of things like that. I'll sit down, I'll have conversations with people, or, I meet people who are in the industry, and I always separate them from whoever they truly are in my eyes. Somebody could be a famous singer, but I think that's a role that they're playing. So I don't think it's hard for me to think of them when I meet them in person as their persona outside of who I'm talking to.
Yeah. You speak with people on a human level, down to earth, and that way, nothing gets weird. I understand that.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't even. It doesn't. I have too many stories about, people who I'm fans of that I'll know personally and never remember a performance of theirs or something that. Because it's just so separate. I've known Toni Braxton for close to 20 years. We've been we just did a movie together. But we hang out. Sometimes, I remember one time we were going to the gym. We were coming back from the gym, and she was singing along to something on the radio, and I stopped and went, "Oh my God, you got a pretty good voice." And
you should do this for a living, huh?
Yeah, just thinking about it. Damn,
really
she's got
blown
a pretty
away.
damn decent voice. I didn't know she could sing. And then I was you idiot. That's what she's Toni Braxton.
Exactly.
That happens to me all the time. The Toni that I know is just Toni. I don't connect her as the singer at all. That's when she sang. I'm like, what is this? When did you start singing? Instantly, I'm thinking, oh, will you just be quiet and let me hear the actual song?
We don't. Yeah, you're overdoing it a bit. Could you?
Yeah, I really looked over at her like, what is she trying to do? sometimes I don't like people singing over other, the song I'm listening to on the radio. It's like, shut up. When she started singing and she sounded really good, I was like, wait a minute.
See, what you're supposed to do is pull out your phone and then record it every time that she goes to do that. That way, y'all can make money off of it. Yeah.
There's a thing that would never enter my mind.
Yeah.
I will have casual dinner or lunch or work out with somebody who is famous, and it never occurs to me to record it because that's not what it's about. If this person's a friend of mine, I never think about that.
Yeah.
And even for myself, when I try to, I should be recording things. My wife tells me, but I just, I do some extraordinary things and that people would probably want to see, but it doesn't occur to me because I'm living my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you mentioned your wife. Isn't your wife also a martial artist?
Yeah.
Did y'all meet through martial arts? Or?
No, I've known her 23 years. I mean, I'm her teacher, but she got very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool. They have the martial arts couple.
Yeah. Power couple.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah. We trained together. So she just naturally, progressed.
Now speaking of, just talking to, your heroes, your idols, and humanizing them, you a little bit after you did Tyson, you were in the comic book film Spawn.
Yeah, we grew up in the 90s, so I mean that's where we first learned about you and your acting, and it would be a lie for us not to say that we were huge Spawn fans and nerds about that. So.
Oh, cool! Thanks.
Yeah. So how was that? Did you know you were going to get the part? Did you study up on Spawn? Are you a fan of comics, or was it just another job for you?
Yeah.
Sorry to say, I wasn't a fan of comic books. I didn't know anything about Spawn when I went to the meeting. When I got the role, I didn't know what the role was, and I had to call my friend and ask him, like, "What is this Spawn thing again?"
Yeah.
But because I went to a general meeting with the producers, and I was already scheduled to play Jax in Mortal Kombat, and so I was going to this meeting just out of just sometimes you have to go to these meetings, and then later my manager told me, "Oh, they cast you for Spawn." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, what about Mortal Kombat?" And they said, "Oh no, it shoots at the same time, so you're gonna do Spawn." I'm like, "What's Spawn again?" So,
right? You're like, I know Mortal Kombat, like that's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm like, I knew what Mortal Kombat was. What is this Spawn thing?
Yeah.
And, found out, what it was and how it was, a very popular comic book at the time, and I just did my research with it, and I, realized it was a much better role and a better opportunity. So, of course, I jumped on it.
Oh, what's crazy is we were talking to a band recently and stuff like that about managers, and usually managers tend to sometimes make questionable decisions. But for this one, Spawn ultimately was the better film than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
What was that? Was it Annihilation that you had gotten the offer for?
I got an offer for each one of them. There was Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2. The first time I was going to do the Mortal Kombat, the Tyson movie came up, and I ended up doing the Tyson movie instead.
Okay.
The second time I was offered Jax, the Spawn movie came up. It just so happens they both were filming at the same time as bigger roles. So that's just the way that went.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But you ultimately, you got to portray him a little bit in Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat
now, how
Legacy.
did all that come about?
Well, we basically guerrilla style shot a concept video, and we could have got sued, but we didn't. Warner Brothers dug it, and they said, "Oh, well, not only are we not going to sue you, we will give you money to make a little series."
Really?
So that's what happened.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
we
Because
did that with the intention of doing a full-length movie, but as you see, that never happened.
yeah, kind of put it out almost like a crowdsourcing thing, and then it caught wind with Warner Brothers. That's really awesome.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a crowdsourcing thing, but it was. Well, the crowd really got behind it. It was like it really went viral. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, so I mean, if you don't mind, like I'm a pretty big gamer. I do things like that. I've got people from Twitch wanting to ask questions. They're like, "You're talking to Jax right now? What do you?" But it's like, I mean, it's a really cool. How was playing Jax?
It was cool. I mean, it's kind of like I'm just playing myself, in a way. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's always fun, and I'm shooting it with my friends, the same guys who we shot the Rebirth with. So that was cool. Kevin Tancharoman was the director, and to me, that's he potentially will be one of the best action directors out there. This guy, he hasn't shown the world what he's capable of yet.
Right, he just needs that chance.
Yes.
And that's a lot of independent direct. There's so much talent out there.
Yeah, we
and one of
the
the things that we like to pride ourselves right now is that we're getting a lot of independent filmmakers and stuff like that on our show, and it's really been awesome talking to them and just watching them grow and get their movies on Hulu and stuff like that, and it's been really cool. I mean, there's so much talent out there that. I mean, sometimes you just get buried, and you just have to wait for that moment, moment to break out.
It's really hard.
Well, sometimes it's a thing, like I said, with Kevin Tancharoman. If he were a bigger asshole, he probably would be a lot further, but probably be more miserable. But, there's a lot of very talented people who are nice people, and sometimes this industry doesn't reward that. This industry rewards a lot of assholes who will step on everybody's neck and crawl over their best friend just to get in a position of power.
Yeah.
I hope. My hope is for people like him. Some people I look at the world in the same way. These assholes who do that, I wouldn't want to trade my life for theirs for 1 minute, because I really haven't seen an asshole who was happy. Somebody with that kind of ego and had a claw and scratch. So it all balances out to me.
Yeah.
And every now and then, when you stay consistent, a good guy gets his chance and then never has to look back, and that's just worth all the wait. So there might be a position in that, and it might be very soon where I'm in a position to hire Kevin and show what he's capable of.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We'll be looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Spawn real quick. When you did Spawn, the director, that was I want to say that was his first film, because I think he mostly did special effects stuff and sadly, special effects wise, maybe it hasn't aged over the years. But I mean, that was his first film. And how was the set like working with him?
It was great. Man. He was great to work with. I think he learned the hard way, but I think he started kind of destroying story elements in the movie. In my opinion, he's destroyed a lot of story elements for the sake of using more, more special effects.
Right. Well, that's what his background was too. That's kind of where he got his.
That's naturally what might happen if you got a special effects guy, doing the movie. Just like when you have a stunt guy who becomes a director, he cares about the stunts more than he cares about the drama.
Yeah.
That tends to be what goes on.
Yeah, could you imagine like a modern day Michael Bay Spawn or something?
Oh my goodness. I think Michael Bay might do a good Spawn.
Yeah, who knows?
Now, yeah,
Michael J. White, that's who it is.
But there is a new Spawn movie coming out. Did you ever have contact with?
If you have proof that there's a new Spawn movie coming out, please share it with them.
No, it's just internet.
Oh,
stuff.
I guess you know what? It might be
things float around.
Well, the
Todd McFarlane's been talking about this for 20 years.
Okay.
Because he knows people will listen.
Okay.
I hear the same thing, but I don't. We'll see if that ever happens.
Okay.
I mean, it would be amazing because for Todd McFarlane to direct a movie when he's never directed a movie. I don't think he's directed a commercial before. But it's that would be an amazing feat for him to do that.
Exactly, because he wants to.
It's just like imagine Stan Lee directing a movie. See, those people outside the industry might think, oh yeah, Stan Lee is behind these movies. Yeah, he's behind the movies, but he's not directing them. He's not creating the screenplay. He created the characters. It's a whole different skill set to shoot a movie, and especially
Absolutely.
You're talking about a movie that's probably in the upwards of $50, $60 to $100 million. That no studio in their right mind is going to give that to somebody who's never shot anything.
Right.
That's just the reality of the situation. And I'm saying it would be amazing if that happens, but hey. Maybe it will.
There might be one of those. What is the Gambit?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I have never heard of it in my life.
That's kind of what happened with the Gambit movie. I don't know if you know about Gambit, but that's been in production hell, as they like to say, for quite some time. Even Channing Tatum saying he directed, and ultimately it just fell through. And I think you're right. That may happen with the Spawn movie, where I think he's planning on doing a more like a really darker tone, where the Spawn character is barely in it, and I guess he's kind of talking to. He's talking to Jane.
He told me about that. It was about a year and a half ago. I ran into Todd. He was telling me, he's got this idea of this Spawn being this kind of character that you don't see, and I said, well, good luck with that. Maybe I'm a vision that I can't see, but and for somebody to put millions of dollars behind a superhero that you don't see.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, hey, more power to you.
Well, hey, on the flip side, they did do like Cloak and Dagger. Marvel did the Cloak and Dagger, and Cloak's entire thing is that he can disappear like that and teleport. So.
No, that's not what his idea was. His idea was to just have basically you see shadows on the wall type thing. And you never actually see Spawn.
Okay. I mean, it's
definitely that's like. Good luck with that shit.
Yeah, right. It's definitely an interesting concept, and I don't judge the man for it whatsoever, but yeah, I think that you have a really good point on terms of things you have laid out in a screenplay, and then things that reality that you can bring into fruition and see how it goes.
It's kind of like not everything.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I'd love to see that work. As far as what I conjure in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's kind of, I don't get it. But maybe I'm not supposed to get it.
I'm trying to.
But like,
I'm trying not to.
it'd make
blurt out
it'd make a
laughing.
good
Really,
book, but not necessarily everything. Not necessarily every good story would make a good movie.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
right.
right.
Well, yeah. But if you're telling me it's a character that you don't see, I'm like, show me when that worked before. In the history of film, I'm like, you may be a genius, but I've never seen that. And especially it's like
Well,
people
but that's
talk
the whole
about,
point. You can't see
oh
it.
man, I really like it. People, that talk about Spawn, to me, love, when the Kate did that, when he did this or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't imagine people saying that if they don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember when Spawn was? You remember when Spawn was that shadow on the wall, and he
the chains were invisible. The chains that shot out. Those were just you couldn't even see them. It was wow.
Yeah, but he cited the Jaws thing. You know how Jaws you didn't see very much of them. I'm like, yeah, but you did see him. You eventually saw him.
Yeah.
So
also Jaws.
It's just gonna be a cape. You're just gonna see an edge of the cape. I think that's what it's kind of like the Jaws fin. Just have an edge of the cape.
I think
the alleyways.
The weirdest thing about it was that he didn't really want Spawn to be the main character. He was just like the the effect of like what bad people do and stuff like that.
Focus
which
more
just doesn't.
on like the
I just
bad
don't.
guys.
I don't see how that works for a comic book.
That shit. I'm like, and like I said, that's beyond me. Okay. What are you gonna call it? And Spawn?
Yeah.
And Spawn. No.
Right.
So I'd like to segue real quick. A lot of the questions that we're getting is obviously over one of the biggest movies that you've done. You wrote it and directed in it. Is Black Dynamite. People are just saying, "Where's more Black Dynamite? We want more. We need it now."
Well, I mean, unfortunately, there's when I did the movie, there was I guess I got to back up to this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of pressed forward.
The Dave Chappelle situation, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, Dave Chappelle had a successful series, but then the producers or the money people, the business people, wanted to chime in on the creative, and that's kind of what happened with the Black Dynamite thing. Is that?
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so it's like, well, there's my role as a performer and in the creative aspect of it, whereas I have to do something that I know I can perform. I can't rely on people who are not in that realm or who never wrote and who don't understand the genre
Yeah, like
to write for me.
It's your love
it's like
child,
It's ridiculous. And so, but if you're a fan of Undercover Brother, you might there might be something that I'm giving you an insight on.
Ooh.
Early.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's going to be an Undercover Brother too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So can you?
Yeah.
I mean, can you? Is that all you can say about her? Can you give?
Is the Black Dynamite character going to be an Undercover Brother too?
Well, I can't say that. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're saying that the guy that plays Black Dynamite will be there, and if he's playing himself.
Because a lot of people don't. I guess they don't remember the first trailer. They don't realize that Black Dynamite is technically, you're a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude, because you're playing Fanetta Jones, playing Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Ferrante Jones. It's a Ferrante Jones performance.
Exactly.
You're pretty sharp, dude.
Yeah.
That's very astute.
Yeah, dude. That's why everyone was upset kind of about the. What's this? Well, not everybody. They're excited about Outlaw Johnny Black. But But they were like, we wanted Black Dynamite too. I'm like, well, technically this is like a Black Dynamite too, because he was playing an actor playing a role, and this is technically that actor playing another role.
I love it.
Right.
Cool. You gotta explain that. I guess you gotta explain that to people. You gotta spell it out.
Yeah. And if you know the genre back then, you understand it.
Yeah.
It's like Jim Brown could be Slaughter, and he could be another character as well.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Like Fred Williamson was Black Caesar, and he's also Nigga Charlie, and he's also he plays a lot of characters. He was that. I think he was Batman Bolt as well. Well, yeah. I'm showing my age, but there's a lot.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. Anybody can take a look at you. This is the second time I'm saying this, and they won't notice.
They won't notice your age. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, dude. You look good for your age, whatever your age might be.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever that is. No, but I feel good, man. There's nothing I can do at 20 that I can't do now.
Right. There's nothing you can do now that we can do.
That's a damn good point. Yeah. I mean, I saw some of the your training and stuff like that you had uploaded to YouTube, and I tried to jump in the air and do a kick, and I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Well, you take baby steps before you eventually you can.
Well, we got really excited. I was like, we're interviewing Michael Jai White. Gotta go do some kicks right now.
Plus, we're right there at that edge of millennials, and so we're trying to jump ahead and just be instant successful.
Oh yeah, the instant success thing.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a must.
Take your time. You got plenty of time. So just develop slowly.
So
real talk from Michael Jai White.
So obviously, back to the how. A lot of questions we got were about Outlaw Johnny Black. How far into filming are you guys, and when can we expect Outlaw Johnny Black? Or is it back to what you were saying earlier about the higher ups, production people, and not
having a
No. It's really about. I've had a really busy schedule, and so putting everything else, the rest of it together, has taken a little bit more time. That's really what it is, and so I'm just trying to find a chunk of time to have everything completed.
Okay. How much more would you say how much more stuff do you need completed? Is more editing, or is there some scenes left out?
Yes, there's some there's a major chunk of it that needs to be done, and really that's what I'm going to say. I don't really know. Hopefully, because schedule it gets a little tricky when there's different people who have availability at different times.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's tricky. But hopefully,
we're well aware of that.
Hopefully, finished by this summer.
Okay, that'd be cool. That's awesome. Because I know you have like a lot of you have a lot of big stars that make little like cameos, or they're a part of the film.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so I can understand that like schedules just need to line up perfectly. And it's probably really hard.
Can't even imagine. That's you'd have to hire somebody for that, especially.
Now,
there's one thing if I do it like high budget. Then you just pay for everybody's time, and but then there's certain ways you can do things that are lower budgeted that you have to kind of wait for certain availability.
Yeah.
I rather just like I just gave you that advice. Take things slow, and it's all about the quality, not rushing anything to. Because it's something that is going to, once it's done, that film will outlive all of us.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure it's of the of the quality that will do that.
That's what's great about film is that you make
guys
those
are martial
you make
artists
those
through and
well you make those right films, and you're cemented in time just about.
Yeah.
What would you say would be, you say low budget, you've done your fair share of high budget films, especially, and obviously we'll have to touch on this. You did Dark Knight. You were in the Dark Knight, and you performed in two of Heath Ledger's best performance scenes of all time. You were one of the last people to perform with Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Not to take away from your performance at all.
And what's that like? What is that like? What's that feeling of?
I will say that's a very unique. You have a unique perspective on it, whereas most others don't, and it's something that people have I don't know, racked their brains over since he passed. So
He was just a really nice guy. He was really cool, and it was really enjoyable, like working with the guy. He wasn't taking himself as serious as people made it out to be. I mean, he was very playful. He was very affable. He talked to everybody, and when he was doing the next movie, Dr. Parnassus, is when his accident. It really had no connection with Dark Knight. So,
yeah. Did you?
But the story in people's minds wants to connect him doing a dark movie like Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
exactly.
really, Dr. Parnassus was dark too, though. That Doctor, it kind of. I mean, it had a light heart feel to it, but it was like it had a very. It's kind of weird because I don't know if you remember because I remember buying that movie because I knew that Heath Ledger had did one more film, and they had a rush to get a lot of people to fill that role for some side scenes, like they got Johnny Depp and Jude Law, and a lot of the scenes that they didn't show.
What do you think?
There was like a lot of like
secret undertones, or are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a darker.
Like,
it was kind of like a darker, like weird, like cultish film.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And well, at least for some of these set photos, it didn't really play off in the movie itself. But if you look deeper into the film, it's way darker than his performance in The Dark Knight. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure they lightened it up a little bit, especially after the passing.
He was joking most of Dark Knight.
I would agree with that. I don't know about that one because I mean the Joker. You saying darker than the Joker?
No, I mean I'm saying the
he
undertones.
Was laughing the whole time he was playing the Joker.
He was
laughing the whole. You can't deny that he was laughing the entire time. If you see set photos of Dr. Parnassus, it has a lot of like upside down pentagrams and stuff like that, and it's just a little bit okay. You're getting into weird internet theories.
Yeah, weird internet. This is
what we really want your opinions on.
They want to connect things to something deeper, not like the dude mistakenly took Ambien and something in a pain reliever.
This was
his
darkest
role.
But
these are the things that happen. He did an unusual thing. I mean, he has an unusual job.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who have made those mistakes where you get used to a certain sleep medication, and then you have an injury, and you take some kind of Vicodin, that type of thing like that, and then you don't realize that's the same medication twice, and you overdose. So that's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I don't connect that with anything of some occult occurrence. You know what I mean?
Why do you think these rumors even get started? Like, why do we feel like? Why does a lot of people in the world feel like they need to connect these deeper, darker stuff to things like that?
Because it's the same reason why people want to escape the reality of the world and watch movies in the first place. You want to believe in magic. You want to believe something is deeper than what we know. You know, a lot of people, like everybody wants to believe, like, say, Bruce Lee can kill everybody because it's fun to believe that. It's fun to believe that I've been a lifelong martial artist. You know how many people want to believe that there's people who can float, or people who can have this power of not touching you and hurting you, because it's fun, you know.
Yeah, energy. And transplacement.
And deep down, people want that to be the truth. They want to have heroes, you know, and so that's really what it is. And so with this, they want to be connected to this folklore of Heath Ledger doing the wrong thing, and you know, in the dark forces came to get, just because it's sexier to think that way. It's just what people do, but it's not the truth. I mean, if you want to enjoy the fantasy of it, okay, but it's, you know, it's just sometimes these things happen. I think, like, hell, there's people who want to believe that Tupac is still living. Like,
I mean,
you know,
are you denying right now?
Still alive?
You're denying it.
What's
right
that?
Now?
Are you denying it?
Oh, well, I mean, you know, well, okay. Yeah, I think he's gone. Yeah. I think by now. See, I thought he was still alive till just about like 5 years ago. So now I'm convinced.
Okay.
Because not a secret YouTube site.
I know, because the Illuminati finally contacted you and told you that that it was true.
Yeah, now we're getting real deep.
Well, yeah, but you know, this is like the Illuminati. People want to believe that. You know,
does it just make it
easier?
If
people didn't want to believe that, you know, that's what movies are based off of. That people want and desire to believe in something that's a little supernatural.
Yeah,
right.
I can't believe you just asked him about the Illuminati.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I hate to have to point this out, but you know, Santa Claus is real.
Santa Claus is real? I knew it.
He's real. No. You know.
I knew it. See that, Amen? You liar. You're a lying piece of...
I had to get up and walk away at that one.
You told me he was fake.
Dude, look, that's a little too much. You just told me that Tupac was dead for real. This is hard to handle.
Tupac's dead. Santa's real.
Yeah,
and,
but Tupac is Santa.
Oh my shit! Holy shit!
Oh man.
That's what.
See, I thought it was DMX because he's got to give it to you.
He's got to give it to you.
Got to give it to you.
But back to the Dark Knight.
We're just segue away from that.
We don't want to alienate our audience with Illuminati talk.
Oh no.
But you know, I read in an interview that you said that you weren't aware that your character died in the Dark Knight, that it was actually shot a little differently, and that maybe there was plans for you to be in the future. Is that true?
Yeah. That's why in a movie of that magnitude, nobody knows what the hell happened. You know, it looked like an absolute mistake. You know, so think about it. If they wanted to shoot a death scene of me, they would have done it. I was never in a death scene. I just, got the side of my mouth cut, but then, like for their own reasons, I'm just speculating. I think that they wanted to make it just kind of like X the character out, and I think they wanted to preserve more of Heath Ledger's performance. There's people like Cillian Murphy that was in the movie as well, and he's completely cut out of the movie. And so that's just my guess. Because there's things that were not necessarily in the script that wound up in the movie. I think there was a lot of stuff that Heath did. Not a lot, but I think some things that he did, like I know. Just this is my guess that they wanted to preserve more of Heath's performance.
Right. Well, what would have
Yeah.
what would have keeping you alive in the film? How would that have not preserved it? I mean,
Well, I mean, you don't show the scenes that followed.
Yeah.
Involved.
It was almost like there was a finality with it whenever the movie ended.
Well, yeah, it was never intended on a character. The character was never intended on being killed. You know, in the chronology of it, Gamble goes on. You know, so you know, a lot of people are well aware of that. So so that's just what that was. You know, a movie of that size, they're not gonna, you know, if a mistake, you know, if they intended on a death scene, it would have been very clear. It wouldn't have been like everybody going, "What the hell just happened?"
Now, when filming a film like that, compared to maybe a smaller budget role, is that mystery always there of whether or not you're going to get cut or what's going to happen, or is
always. You know, I know people who've had like even bigger roles in movies be completely cut out, depending on the time. You know, a lot of people have to cut. You know, the director has to cut movies down to a certain time, and that always involves cutting out intended scenes.
Why do they gotta cut time?
Because you know, you got to fit everybody in the theaters. You want to have 3 showings in one night, not just 2.
Okay. Because you know, I mean, back in the day, I want to say that
makes a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, but early films used to be so like long and like a journey.
Right.
Like
that's when filmmaking was a journey, and it was about the experience. Now it's more business, and so there you go.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So they want that movie to be around 90 minutes, so we can get people in, you know, stuff popcorn in their mouths, and have three screenings per night. Yeah. So if a movie's over 2 hours, you're not going to have 3 screenings a night. There's not enough time. But
then you have like, it's kind of weird to say that, because then you have the like these 3-hour epics, or you know, 2.5-hour epics now, especially with Marvel films and like something like Lord of the Rings, and then they are making an ungodly amount of money.
They're able to get multiple like positions in the theater.
They are not the norm. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they scare everything else away from the theaters at that time. It's not like they're competing with anybody.
Right.
So, you know, they can do anything they want to do.
Can we talk about that for a second from Marvel? So, if you had the option, if you were able to pick, what Marvel character would you choose to play as?
Oh, you know what's a shame? I don't even know what Marvel characters there are.
What?
I really don't follow that stuff.
Woo! He's an image man.
I really don't. I'm a grown ass man, but it's like this. I think green. My wife is here. She knows more about, you know. Oh yeah. That wasn't Green Arrow.
Just saying nerd shit.
Green Lantern, right?
Oh, Green Lantern.
Yeah, John Stewart.
Oh,
Green Lantern.
Yes.
Shit,
Oh, yeah.
that would be.
I guess that one.
But that's
You would fill
well,
that
that's
role perfect.
that's DC, but we'll give you a pass.
Oh, it's DC.
But
Sorry.
No worries.
but
Marvel fans are
okay,
shitting their pants right now.
What Marvel character?
Oh, look, I'll pitch to you right now. We asked the nerd groups what Marvel character they'd cast you as, and we have 3 to 4 picks, but the top 3 are Nighthawk, Bishop, and Isaiah Bradley. And Isaiah Bradley was kind of like the I guess in World War II area, they kind of had a segregated army, and Isaiah Bradley was the Black Captain America, and a lot of people want to make you the Black Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's like
that
their,
doesn't sound that bad.
yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, that's the dream casting.
Yeah, somebody told me about that before. Yeah.
Especially
that sounds
with
cool. So next time somebody asks me about a Marvel character, I'm gonna say Black Captain America.
yeah, exactly, Black Captain America.
Isaiah what?
It's Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or even
Thank you.
or even the Patriot. And I mean, no offense, you may be a little past the age for Patriot, but I think it could still work. Because the Patriot is like the great grandson of Isaiah Bradley, but you could always be the Patriot.
I think he'd fit perfect. He'd be
Yeah,
fine.
anywhere, honestly. Now Marvel, I mean these are some. There's a lot of big films out there.
We're
Big,
circling that one.
I know.
Isaiah Bradley. There we go.
a lot of big franchises out there that people may want to see you in. Has there ever been a franchise ever reached out to you?
You mean like Burger King? No. I'm messing with you. No. It's like you talking about a film?
Yes,
Type of,
like a film franchise.
Yeah, a few, but I don't want to mention it because then there's I got to
All
deal with
kinds of
crap.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Red tape and shit. Yeah.
Huh?
I
The
said
red tape.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legal
Yeah.
tape. Legal tape. There you go.
I mean, we're just wondering. A lot of people are wondering when is your one-on-one face-off with The Rock in a Fast and Furious
Oh
movie?
shit.
Well, I mean that would be fun.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But yeah.
Is there any actors?
We're quoting you on that.
We're quoting you on that.
Hell yeah! You kidding me? Like I'm a dude. I'm a big Rock fan. Probably more as a person than anything else. But he's just like,
Yeah, he's a
you know,
really good guy. He really is.
I really respect how he conducts himself, his work ethic. I mean, he inspires me with the work ethic, like how he trains and mainly how he treats his people. And, I have a lot of. We have some mutual friends, and he's a really good dude.
Yeah, he's one of a kind. I mean, his schedule is like really weird. I think he like sleeps in like 3-hour intervals or something like that, and he's just constantly training and constantly busy.
I couldn't do it.
You could do it.
I couldn't do it. I know.
Yeah.
And
I think
but
that's
that's more power to him. But he's
that
he's
was
a
one of the
machine.
next questions we were going to ask is like, since you obviously do a lot of training, I know you don't spend all of your time training, but have you ever in your career had one of those kind of crazy training regimens where, like you get like 2 hours of sleep a night and then...
No, not even close. No. I have a very normal... I train maybe 2 hours, and maybe sometimes, depending on if I'm getting ready for something, I might train twice a day. But no, I don't do that kind of extreme stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I have to. I've just been doing consistent stuff, like training for a very long period of time.
Is there a reason
I
someone
don't
would
think I
train
need
that
to
much?
Do that.
Like, what do you think the Rock's?
What's that?
What do you think the Rock's mindset is when he trains just that much? Is he just trying to keep that gigantic build that he has, or?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think he'd be. There's no way I would know.
It's just wild.
He does a lot more than I do.
The guys like the Muscle Fitness magazine and stuff. They'll ask him his workout regimen and his diet, and I'm like, what kind of like he'll give us like some kind of expensive ass halibut diet. It's like who the hell can who can afford halibut every night?
Oh, yeah, right. Well,
He can.
yeah, exactly. That's how he got there. He
like,
built his way up.
I know,
See,
but he should have promoted a cheaper version of his of his diet.
He's like, get the great value halibut.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not. Just for me, I'm not one of those guys that weighs my food and have to do. No, I mean, or I don't know. I mean, I like to. I don't have such a regimented lifestyle. I don't think I ever will. You know, I like to improv stuff a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're drinking beers right now, so yeah, no judgment here, bro.
Yeah.
But so you did a lot of one of the big directors you worked with. You said you did that sitcom, Tyler Perry. How's it working with Tyler Perry?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. We were friends before we really worked. Well, not really. Yeah. Well, he became a friend, and so it's always fun working with friends and extended friends as well. So that's just like I felt like I was goofing around and getting paid for it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's always fun to just play,
always, like,
play and get paid.
Whenever you're having fun doing something like that, it's always awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of when we were telling people about it, a lot of women seem to know you about that's your big women demographic.
Yeah, that's
is
where you
those,
get your female
Tyler
fan
Perry
base.
films.
Yeah, that's true.
I know he's, but
he's right next to us. Throw those questions out.
Throw those
Sorry,
questions
we've got
out.
a whole list of questions from females. We're just cutting off right now.
Yeah, no, my wife is the coolest person on the planet. Like she doesn't, there's nothing about women that, you can't say around her.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get a lot of that. Yeah.
Just funny. It's a funny
every
thing.
time somebody says that, they think that no one else has.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those most common things probably said to you. Now, one of your
Laughing too hard.
one of our other questions we get asked a lot is about Blood and Bone. It's probably one of your most
phenomenal.
It's probably one of the most martial arts action inspired films. I think it has a lot of good fight scenes in there. And how was making Blood and Bone?
It was a lot. It was really cool. I mean, I shot Blood and Bone. I started shooting Blood and Bone. Black Dynamite. I started shooting 10 days after Blood and Bone.
Okay.
In some of the same exact locations, we just changed it around. But hey, guys, I got to wrap up in like 5 minutes.
Okay,
no, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuff in here.
Yeah,
We'll
apologize. We were having a lot of fun.
Oh, we're
with
sorry,
you.
man. We're having so much fun talking to
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I don't think we have enough to pay you for the time, so let's go ahead and get our final things in here.
Okay.
We have some quick questions for you, real quick. It's the quick answers if you can, or as long as you would like. But
Are these fan questions?
No.
I'm going to take as long as I want because I do not want to say something quick that I'm going to regret.
Okay. So we have
This stuff has a tendency to follow you.
Yeah.
So we have.
Hey, we get it.
Well, we got these top 5 Google questions about you. So we'll start off with the number 5. Does Michael Jai White have any tattoos?
Yes, I do.
Well, what are your tattoos?
I have my wife's signature on my wedding ring finger.
Ooh, okay.
That's my tattoo.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Michael Jai White in the military?
No, definitely not. Nope. I don't know.
Is that weird? You know,
I don't know. Yeah, that's an easy thing to figure out. No, I never have.
When we get these, it's funny finding these Google questions, and they're always kind of odd to the people.
I know. Most of them like ask weird questions.
C. Our third question is
See?
C. I have it labeled A, B, C, D, E.
Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
These are multiple choice. You were either in the military or you have tattoos. You chose tattoos.
Is Michael Jai White alive?
You gotta ask this guy. You just asked
Seriously?
this guy that?
That's the third one?
That is, it's quite
number third.
Like, how is that even Google?
More than one person asked that question.
Yes.
Apparently, it's an algorithm.
Is that a weird question? I mean, obviously it's weird, but why would people think that you weren't alive?
I don't know. I was wondering if they meant some kind of metaphysical kind of
right.
You know, I give people too much of benefit of the doubt. You know. It's,
I got one
but,
here.
Yeah, I guess I am.
It says, "Where did Michael Jai White train?"
Well, there's like a lot of places, just a lot of places. So if I train that I have a bunch of different black belts and train at different gyms and stuff. So where did I train or where do I train now?
I don't know. It
Either
just
way,
says these
it's
are the
a lot
Google
of
questions. It just says,
No.
"Where did Michael Jai White train?"
But
Okay. The Bridgeport YMCA.
Okay, there we go.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Michael Jai White related to Jaleel White?
Not even close, but
Jaleel White?
I keep getting called Jaleel White a lot.
And the final question is Michael Jai White king in was that Ghana? Ghana. Are you king in Ghana?
No, I'm not the king of Ghana. No, I've been. I am a chief. I've been installed as royalty there by the king of Akwamu, Ghana, and so it's so there is some truth.
Wow.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We should have led with that one.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing we're gonna get to before we last plugs and stuff like that is I wanted to touch on this real quick. So you've been in a few films with Steven Seagal, and most recently I think it was Asian Connection, if I'm not mistaken. Now this may sound like a little bit of a clickbait question, but a lot of people asked about it. How was working with Steven Seagal on Asian Connection, especially? We're not quite sure when that interview took place, where he did the whole "Can I laugh in your face?"
Oh,
that was with Michael Chavello.
Yeah. How was it working with Steven Seagal?
Flipping people.
Was that before or after you guys worked on that film? And what was the behind the scenes on that?
Well, we weren't in this. We were in the same movie, the Asian Connection, but we were not in. We never worked together while we were there. Like like on the movie. We didn't work on the same day. I only worked one day on the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's. And we worked together 3 other. Let me see. 1, 2. Well, yeah, we worked together on 3 other occasions.
Was it all positive? Yeah. We never had a problem when we worked together at all. It's just
not at all. In fact, two of the situations he hired me.
Oh.
So I was, he hired me for. He was doing some soup, missing soup ads, and and then on Deadly Ground was another time, and then we worked together on Exit Wounds.
Yeah, and Steven Seagal apparently can't throw an actual kick. Is that? No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna get you.
Well, even if he could back then, he sure as hell can now.
No, but yeah, thank you so much, Michael Jai White. We are definitely going to campaign for you to be in a buddy cop movie with John Cena. And
oh hell yeah! Are you kidding me? That dude has been killing it.
That would be...
exactly. And
he is hilarious.
I think everyone says that the best pairing would probably be you and John Cena as far as like that cool buddy cop movie.
I agree with folks. That would be cool as hell.
Jackson.
I mean,
that would be cool as hell.
Especially because John Cena, he's kind of similar to you, where he does the comedy and the action. You know, he's able to, he's able to, transcend that bar to where he can do both.
Yeah, can kind of like
which is very similar to you.
Both. Yeah.
So
petition for that one.
I definitely.
I would really like that one.
We definitely will be. So do you have any last plugs and anything?
Yeah, anything you want us to like for people to reach out to you or whatnot?
Well, I mean, shoot. What do I want to plug? Follow me on my my Instagram is official Michael Jai, and I have a YouTube channel called Real Michael Jai White. No, what is it? YouTube.realmichaelwhite.com, I think, something like that.
We'll post some links as well.
And I'm going to be showing a lot of like instructional things on my YouTube channel, so check that out.
All right, thank you so much for being on. You're a hero to us. You're a hero to a lot of people, and it's awesome that we got to talk to you for this long. I know we used up just about every minute of your time.
Yeah, it's not just been a pleasure. It's been an absolute honor. I can't even begin to describe it. So thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you guys. All the best on your what's it called? Blog?
Opinions and beer. Do you want to give us a Spawn style opinions and beer?
Yeah. But what is it? What is it? It's a podcast. Podcast. I couldn't. These newfangled words, you youngsters.
It's one of those.
Best of luck on your podcast, and absolutely. What do you want me to say?
Oh, I was just saying if you wanted to do opinions and beer in a Spawn voice.
Opinions and beer.
Really nerdy.
Okay. Damn, what's the Spawn voice? What is it?
It's just kind of the deeper, real serious.
Damn, how do I sound in Spawn? Damn, kind of the growly thing. You're listening to what? Say something like you're listening to Opinions and Beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, damn. How do I? Huh? Oh, okay. You're listening to Opinions and Beer.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
But I actually had to have the teeth in. When I really got the voice, I had the damn teeth in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of makeup and stuff.
Yeah, it was. It was like, wait a minute. You sent me to hell, Jason. It was like that kind of thing. How would I? You're listening to Opinions and Beer.
Yes,
dude, that was.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Nobody would know what that was, though.
That's going in front of every single fucking episode.
Right.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you for your time, man.
Take care, and I just thank you again.
Yeah, good luck on everything, man. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. All right, bye.
So, wow, that was Michael Jai White. I mean, I can't believe we got to interview him. He was pretty cool. It sucks that we maybe we spent a little bit too long on certain topics. We didn't get to some of the things that you guys wanted us to touch on, like him working with Tony Jaa, or him working with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and some of his more upcoming films like Triple Threat. But I think we dove into the history of Michael Jai White, got a lot of his background and a lot of his thoughts on Spawn and the new Spawn. I thought it was funny. I think he's a funny guy. I thought we really had some great chemistry in a few of those segments. And overall, I mean, it's crazy that we got to interview him. But moving on to tie it all together. We have a very special beer right now. We have the beer of the day. And today's beer of the day is Sweep the Leg Peanut Butter Stout by Infamous Brewing Company. It's Cobra Kai beer. I mean, this is karate beer. I think it's only appropriate that we drink karate martial arts beer
when we interview the martial artist, actor, person, human being. Oh wow, I opened this and I poured it, and it's instantly, the smell is of peanut butter. This is my first peanut butter stout. I'll go ahead and say that now. When I poured it, the head that it gave was a very peanut butter-esque color. I've never really seen that before. It's always been, even with stouts and porters, it's usually a white or clearish head, and this one is a very, very brownish peanut butter coloration to the foam. So this beer is 8% in alcohol by volume. 8% in alcohol by volume. It I don't think it really has an IBU rating. I think which is pretty good. That means it can age, and I can't wait to try this. Let me go ahead and take a sip of this beer. So instantly you get those very stout-like flavors. The very dark, rich, and bold, almost like a mild burnt taste, but not too burnt. Some stouts had that really overly burnt taste, and this one's a little bit more smooth than your typical stout. The peanut butter notes are definitely there. They hit me out. Like my breath feels like I've been eating peanut butter, if that makes sense. Like that aftertaste is very. It's. Like the taste of peanut butter just rolls off the tongue. It is smooth. It's smoother than I thought it would be. The peanut butter. This is my first peanut butter stout. So I'm not sure. I don't really have a gauge for it. Stout wise, it's really smooth, and for 8%, it well, I guess 8% isn't too high in the beer community, but I don't know. The drinkability on this is a 10, but it'd be my first. Maybe we can revisit this one, but I'm gonna give this a 9. I'm gonna give this one a 9. I think it's just there's something missing. There's a bang missing from this one to get away to 10. But overall, this is a solid, delicious beer. I love the peanut butter flavor. Maybe it's the peanut butter flavor I wish there was more of. I'm not really like it's there. It's instantly, but it's not strong. If that makes any sense, it's very like you taste the peanut butter, but it's light, very light. Take that as you will. I mean, that is just my opinion. My opinion on Sweep the Leg peanut butter stout that I'm having after interviewing Michael Jai White. What a good day. And that is also being a good day. My opinion, which is fine. Because this is Opinions and Beer. Opinions and beer. Opinions and beer. Can't go wrong with opinions and beer. Opinions and beer. Yeah. Opinions and beer. Ho. All we gotta hear are opinions. And beer.